I was poking around on Wikipedia one day, and I came across the Wikipedia article for the Hollywood blacklist. Now, for people who are younger, if they're not all that politically aware, they may not know about, like, McCarthyism and so on and so forth. So the idea behind it was that they were trying to make sure communism didn't come into the United States. We didn't like communism. It was taking hold. I mean, this was back in the 60s, McCarthyism was. It was taking hold in, like, Russia. This was back when we didn't actually like Russia. This is why people can play on Russia, because Russia was the enemy of the U.S. for a long time, and for somebody who is younger, they wouldn't remember that. Like, I'm Generation X. I grew up when the Cold War was dwindling down, and as I was growing up, like I said, the Cold War was dwindling down, and I saw the change. It wasn't even a violent overthrow. The communist president just kind of stepped down and another guy stepped in, and they changed their flag back to the flag that they had prior to when they were the USSR, and they became Russia again. And I believe they also released some of their territories that then became their own countries, like Ukraine and stuff like that. I believe that was part of the USSR. And then also all of the Eastern Bloc started turning over. So it was a really interesting time to be alive, the 80s and the 90s. The early 90s was basically, the late 80s and early 90s was when, like, most of the communist countries kind of, like, turned back over to, well, they were never really capitalist, but they turned over to a more Western style and a capitalist type. I mean, they're still Eastern, but they're a lot more like us now. And so one of the things I wanted to talk about was also, besides the fact that McCarthyism and how it was tied to communism, one of the things I found interesting was that the way they got around it, or the way they got through it, was that they basically sued their pants off of all of the people doing, coming after them. So this is one of the reasons why I advise, I mean, I don't really have cause for a suit. I'm broke. I'm not a leader in the community. But this is what the leaders in our, right-wing community need to do. When they are squelching our free speech, we need to sue. When people get banned off Twitter, they need to sue. When people get, everything, just sue. Everybody needs to sue. Also, as far as the argument, like, but it's a private company. Well, one of the counterpoints I like to make on that, because, I mean, I know everybody brings up the incident with the cake, and by the way, just a slightly off-topic thing, but, well, actually, no, because I think I'm actually going to rename this. The concept of this video had originally been about Hollywood, but I think the concept should be sue, and more sue. But I don't know if people know this. The results came back, or the judgment came back from the people with the cake. The gays or the lesbians who went into the Christian bake shop and wanted to demand a cake, and then they sued. It didn't go the way it should have, but I think we need to make us think about this stuff. I mean, it's absolutely not fair. This is one of the reasons why I believe Trump is trying to overturn the judges. He's filling the vacancies for the federal courts and stuff. So this is something to keep in mind. And for people who are in Republican states who have, you know, good people in charge who it's their job to appoint, like, judges within the state, like, ride them to make them do that. I mean, that's why I say we need to work locally. Although we can still kind of chat with people from all over. There's advantages to having ties to people in your local area. But, yeah, so the way they got out of their blacklist is by suing. And one of the points I like to make is, you know, because they say, it's their own company, my own company. Well, what about banks? I mean, one of the reasons why I thought of this was, when Tree of Logic tells her stories on one of our videos where she talks about living in Germany and stuff, she was talking about how the government could just reach its doggone hands right into your bank account and just take money out just 'cause. Yeah. So, one of the things I was thinking about is, you know, the owners of a bank, they can't do that in the U.S. And the government can't do that in the United States. So, but, you know, here's the thing. Well, they're their own company. Why can't they just take your money when you put it in the bank? Uh-huh. And there it is. You know, and that's, you know, if the banks worked the way Twitter and Facebook are working, they would be able to take money from conservatives. They would be able to go, I don't like this person's opinions. I'm going to take their money for it. They can't do that. And this is basically what's going on with all of these sites and with us getting, I mean, I actually haven't been banned from any of these sites. Probably because I'm a no-name, but also I do try to avoid a certain amount of controversial stuff. Some of that stuff I might put out on YouTube. Definitely follow me on YouTube too. Subscribe to me on YouTube, I mean. I believe all of my links, by the way, are always in my About tab. So, alright. I think that's it for today. Thank you guys so much for stopping by my channel. I will see you all next time.